What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the City Life Project YouTube channel for yet another live picks, preview, and predictions video covering Dana White's Contender Series Season 9, Week 5. We're going to go over every single matchup. I'm going to let you guys know who I picked in each matchup, and we'll also watch a bunch of highlights of each participant this week as well through the show. If you just want to click through and hear my picks, timestamps will be available right after right after the live stream ends. And if you just want to see highlights, pinned in the comments here, or pinned in the live chat and pinned in the comments, if you're watching this later, it will have our full highlight package. Sorry it was a day late. There wasn't a lot of footage on a lot of these guys, so we really had to dig deep. Speaking of digging deep, let's dig right into this card, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see everyone in the live chat. Good to see everybody in the live chat here. We have Shanelle Dyer against Foro, and honestly, this is the fight I'm looking forward to the most. And I saw that Artem, my boy Artem MMA, said the same, and it's true. This one could be a lot of fun here as we have a volume and violent Muay Thai fighter who is starting to have a more well-rounded game now, getting some reps in the grappling world, and up against, oh my god, man, Foro, who, yeah, sure, has not faced the best competition out there, but is absolutely folding girls left, right, and center. Let's quickly start with a Foro here. She's 8-1 as a pro, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. She's coming in as a slight underdog, plus a 140. Also, kickboxing and Muay Thai background, as you can see there. 6 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 1 decision. The comparison that everyone's giving her is Jessica Andrade, and honestly, she walks forward, bites down her mouthpiece, and throws hooks to the body and face like a mad woman. She's the Jungle Fight champion right now, and she won, well, honestly, she beat a 3-7 gal for this, so this one, who gives a fuck if it's a champion or not. But beating a 7-2 gal, knocked her out in the first round. She's fought in UAE Warriors as well. So Jungle Fight, UAE Warriors, and actually lost a close decision in the LFA as well. I said she hit hard, guys. Check out her highlights here. Just watch how she folded. Like, I literally have in my notes, she kills girls. She kills them. Oh! Love the green and yellow corner in Jungle Fight. Very Brazil. Uh-oh. I don't know why I paused there. What the heck? I don't know why that froze there, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, we can watch that first one. Oh, the whole thing froze. What the hell is going on? One sec, guys. That's a first. I'm just going to bring it back quickly here. But anyways, actually, you guys saw the first one. The second one was a nice body shot and uppercut. But yeah, I don't know why that happened. Hopefully, we don't have any more issues with the videos moving forward here. But if you want to see it in our highlight package, it's linked. There's timestamps for that as well. Let's move on here. We got Shanelle Dyer. Like I said, volume kickboxer who is rounding out her game, doing jiu-jitsu matches and things here on the side. She's 6-0 as a pro, 24 years of age, 4 KO TKOs, 2 decisions, and she went 3-0 in the PFL. She's fought in Eris, which is a good league, Hexagon as well. So pretty solid opponent here. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the live chat. I'm going to salvage that last clip if I can here. Let's see. All right, screw it. We're just going to move over to Dyer. Yeah, check out some of her highlights here, guys. This one was nasty. This one was, oh man, what is going on? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. Well, this is a Bush League of a live stream. Good thing we're going to add timestamps. So here, we'll get to chat here in a sec, guys. I got to figure out what's going on here because I got like 15 other highlights are ready to go. And if they're not going to work, then I have to maybe just pivot to not showing you guys highlights at all. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? We are gonna pivot here. This is some live production on the fly. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna share my YouTube video with the clips. That's what we'll do. Yeah, not sure what's going on. I think just my program is tripping out because I loaded like 20 freaking clips into this, but if they're not going to work, that's okay. We'll show what we got on YouTube. So pivoting here, guys. Thank you for standing by. All right. And we'll just show the highlights, I guess, just segment here instead of after each fighter. All right. Holy fuck. This has been a crash course. I have Dyer winning in this one, ladies and gentlemen. I have Dyer winning in this one, and I will show you why. I will show you why. If she can withstand the power early, if she can withstand the power early and not show too much respect to it and just fight her game, I think she can get it done. I think she can get it done. All right, let me show you why here. Let me show you why. There we go. There we go. What's up, Simpson? Good to see you. What's up, Paulo? What's up, Charlie boy? It depends where you are in the world, Simpson. What's up, K1? What's up, Simple? What's up, Justin? Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. I'll show again the Brazilian girl here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. But again, I post these highlights every single week, ladies and gentlemen. They are up now, so if you do want to watch them again later, just check them out. There was a lot of footage on her as well. Very good on the outside. And I am going to pick her to win, to be honest. I am picking her to win. She's the favorite coming into this one. I thought it'd be more of a pick 'em, to be honest, but both have fought in kickboxing and Muay Thai, although Dyer still employs it in mixed martial arts, as you can see here. Her opponent, tough hitter, kills chicks, right? Foro absolutely kills chicks. But I like Dyer's volume. I think she does a good job of setting up her kicks to do like a lot of the damage. Low kicks, body kicks, high kicks. Her striking, I mean, once she's in close, like trying to finish the fights, yeah, she'll throw uppercuts and stuff like that, but it's a lot of straight shots, a lot of jabs. Her kicks and her knees on the entry are her biggest weapons, in my opinion. But her opponent's just going to walk her down. And her opponent does hit harder and can mix it up and is a little bit better of a boxer. Dyer's grappling is getting a little bit better. Maybe we'll see her use that if she can't win on the feet, but I think this is just striker versus striker, power puncher versus kickboxer. Let's see if the pressure from Dyer's opponent can cut the distance. And I do think that this one should be an absolute banger. And I do think also that Foro is a good underdog here. And I will go over like how I think that every underdog has a chance, but I'll tell you guys my confidence in them at the end of the stream. So as you can see, this chick's unreal with her technique here. Let's take a look at Foro. Oh yeah, so we saw a little bit of this before it froze on my end, but I'm good. A good thing I pivoted to this. Because you guys got to see. Yeah, I think it like froze there. Oh, imagine getting your fingers cut off as you're like falling down. I guess we can be a little bit more lenient there. Oh, you see that? Freaking windmill uppercut. That was like from a freaking movie. Oh, this one was nasty too. Oh my God. So as an underdog, bro, not bad. Not bad at all, right? But I am going Dyer. I think again, I'm banking on her being able to A, not get hit with those clean shots, and B, withstand the shots if she does get tagged, even if there's just a few to win this via decision. I think she wins this via decision unless she lands like a clean head kick, which Could happen. But good underdog to start on this one, and honestly, should be a banger fight to start this week, which again, on paper, far from the best week, far from the most entertaining week, but we said that, on week 2 or 3, or week 3 maybe, and that week was an absolute banger. All right, a returnee in this next one, we have Chasen Blair against Samuel Sanches. Samuel Sanches, not a lot of tape on him, guys. That one took a lot of digging through like Instagram and things like that. His Instagram page, the promotions in which he fought in Instagram page, whereas Blair, like, literally just a Cage Warriors guy, so pretty easy to find stuff there. Sanches 10-1 as a pro. He is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, 22 years of age. 7 KOTGOs, 1 submission, 2 decision, 4-0 in demo fights. And he fought in Thunder fight in his last fight, which this was his best win. This was his best win, and it wasn't his last fight. He did win the demo fight championship against, I would say, this best win at the time, a 10-6 guy. Lost to Vargas, and honestly kind of switched up his style here. Was very much a grappling heavy guy, and then started to throw a little bit more hands after being heel hooked, but like not afraid to mix it up on the ground at all. But yeah, just not a lot. His striking looked okay, nothing special. His grappling earlier in his career against lesser opponents looked okay, nothing special. Whereas Chasen Blair is the better grappler, better wrestler, better grappler. And though Chasen Blair's hands were never like the thing that got him to the level in which he's at right now, they're getting better. They're getting better. And I would say from what I saw, like, he might not have the same one-punch power as like Sanches, but I think his boxing technique looks a little bit more cleaner. But again, it was tough to watch a lot from Sanches. Chasen Blair is a returnee. He did fight Cody Steele. He got knocked out by Cody Steele. Did take that fight on short notice. And actually didn't look too bad in that fight until he got knocked out. So I think that's why he's getting the call back after just 1 win. Looked good against a solid opponent in Cage Warriors who's 5-1. He's 7-3. 4 KOTGOs, 3 submissions, 0 decisions. You know that's what we love to see. 7-2 in Cage Warriors, man. He is a crafty, slick submission artist, and I do have him winning this one. I'll explain a little bit more. I'll explain a little bit more as to why I'm picking him here in a moment. But more highlights of each of them. Maybe instead of friggin' loading them into the program each time, I just start doing it this way. But yeah, let's take a look at Samuel Sanches first. Oh, okay. I was just gonna say I jinxed it. Yeah, I am going with Chasen Blair here. He is coming in, and again, the lines might have changed, but he's coming in at the slight underdog at -105. At -105. So basically, a pick him as his opponent. Sanches, he was coming in at -120. Again, Sanchez's last win was his best win. He's got okay striking, but not really great anywhere. Relied on his grappling early, but again, haven't really seen much of it yet, and just doesn't look like he has the same killer instinct as he once did starting out earlier in his career. And I know some people might roll their eyes at that, given that this was his last fight, but still. Chasen Blair, very good grappler, decent striking, still in development, but getting better and better each fight. I was actually impressed in his last 2. Not that quick on his feet, but again, in the pocket, can throw hands, and for the most part can take a few good shots. Like, I wouldn't say he's chinny by any means. Really good takedown defense as well. So if Samuel Sanches does want to try to, do this, he should be able to get out of positions like that because he's strong in the grappling department. Slick scrambles, as I said. And he was beating Hassanzada until he wasn't. He was beating Hassanzada until he wasn't, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And fuck Hassanzada. Glad we're never going to see him fighting pro again. Yeah. If you guys know the story, go check it. But yeah, I am going Samuel Sanches. Here's some shots here of Chasen Blair. All right, as Blair's as playing, let's go back to the chat here. Nice, dude. Manager owns demo fight, hides the film and gives cans. It's going to fine for that. That makes sense. Valid reasons, but I still take the Brazilian. Let's go. Brazil better do good here after what Rufy pulled in France. Yeah, it's on ESPN Plus for us in the States, but it might be on Fight Pass for you guys. Dougie's Corner is a great channel. Go check it out. Hey, cheers, Paul. Cheers, Paul. So as you can see here, a lot of good wrestling, a lot of good grappling. 7-3 as a pro. He's on that outdoor San Diego show as well because he's American, but he's purely a Cage Warriors fighter. See, there you go. There's a little 1-2 down the middle, eh, bud? Oh, he's American, not me. And again, maybe I'm being a little biased because I could watch more of his shit, but unless he loses in the grappling department, I don't see his opponent striking any better. Oh. Yeah, so I will say that. There's possibly a little biased because of good little slick scrambles. On triangle there. I mean, I don't know if I'd say easy, but I don't think Pereira's going to win. I hope he lands a knee. That'd be awesome. Oh! I don't think he's going to get the win. Uncle Ab's a tough style matchup for him. And though, he didn't do bad in his last fight, he's going to need a Paul Craig miracle to beat him. Yeah, this outdoor show was crazy, man. Cage Warriors at least had some success for BKFC. All right. Yeah, I'm going Chasen Blair on this one. You guys heard my pick. Let's go to the next one. Felipe Franco versus Freddy Vidal. Again, both of these guys. This guy fights in the friggin' States and was hard to find footage on him, ladies and gentlemen, let alone friggin' Felipe Franco, which I spent way too much time going through people's Instagram accounts to try to find footage of him, which we did. We did find footage of him, ladies and gentlemen. He's 8-0 as a pro, 24 years of age, minus 375. Now, Vidal taking this fight on short notice, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of guys these last 2 weeks, anyways, especially on this card. So anyway, taking this fight on relatively short notice, I still think the line is pretty. I just don't know how it's minus 375 when the stuff I saw showed that he was a little one-dimensional. He's a very good wrestler. Maybe his striking has gotten a lot better. Again, there's not a lot. There's not a lot to see. Now, technique-wise, it looked okay. Not the quickest punches, but he just usually throws a few shots to set up the takedown, and then he's very good on the ground, and I'd say probably more explosive on the ground, going for ground and pound, and, well, just advancing position or getting into the dominant position. He's 8-0 as a pro, undefeated, but has now fought the best competition, but you know what we'd love to see, ladies and gentlemen. 5 KOT videos, 3 submissions, 0 decisions. Another demo fight guy. We're just talking about it in the chat there. Another Almeida guy. Trains with Almeida. 0-0, 0-1, 19-16. The last 3 guys he's beaten. Never beaten anybody other than this dude who has a record above 500. All right. And he's taking on now Freddy Vidal, who, again, wrestling heavy style, goes in for the takedown, gets the ground and pound, and has fought better guys. Now, we're grasping at straws here, okay? We're grasping at straws here, but I truly think these guys, for what little I was able to watch of these two, because this is my first round finishes, even this Kennedy cat was better than, well, you'll see here in a moment, some of the guys that our boy Felipe Franco took on. And I like his amateur experience as well. Going 5-0. All finishes. I did like to see him go to decision in his first fight against a guy with experience. got some, well, real reps there. And then, yeah, then 2 finishes, taking the guy down, grounding and pounding them. So basically, from what I've seen from both these guys, is they get wins in a similar fashion. One's taking the fight on short notice. One's an absolute specimen, but again, unproven against the guy at Vidal's level or the guys who Vidal has fought. So I am going with the favorite on this one because I just think he's a beast. And even if he gasses, if he can get the takedown or if he can get dominant position, he'll probably lay and pray his way to a victory. Or he might just go ball to the wall in the first round and just overwhelm Vidal. But Vidal, again, I think he does what Franco does better, but a little bit smaller. And I just don't. I'm just banking on Franco being like the specimen that he is and being able to just out strength Vidal. That's pretty much it. Like again, I think this is absolutely insane, and maybe I'll eat crow for that if he like just lands like a quick like overhanded knockout or something like that. Then like respect Franco, let's go. I yeah, this must be just because of the short notice. It must be because of the short notice. I would imagine this one would probably be a pick of Vidal to full camp for this, but I'm gonna bank on Franco thinking it up, decision win. All 3 rounds are the first 2. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you guys as we take a look at some of the highlights from both these guys. And I hope you appreciate these Franco ones because this was not easy. Not easy to freaking find. Yeah, I think he's the first one here. Right? He's the first one. Yeah, here we go. But look at the level of comp. Like he's a beast, but like look at this skinny boy he's fighting here, right? Like Felipe Franco fights like Almeida from what I've seen. That makes sense. Sinson Damso Pereira will win. My friend in Brazil of the channel, Urbano with live all day. I want you to put that link in the channel. I have no idea what that channel is, my friend. So again, yeah, this looks great. This looks great. And it's funny that I'm banking on the minus 375 to like do his job, but that's, I don't know. Those odds surprised me a little bit. I guess just maybe Vidal had issues cutting weight. Maybe he's just not as prepared as I think coming into this one, even on short notice, but we'll see. We'll see. If anything, he probably should have finished this guy earlier for how much he's dominating here. But still. Again, sorry for some of the technical issues earlier in the program, guys. Glad we were able to keep the show rolling. I think there's a couple, there's a few other ones here. Yeah, this is skimming through friggin' Instagram to find stuff. This guy's a little bit more his size. All right, we got some slow-mo action here. Nice, Paulo. Surely doesn't need my advertisement then, but shout out to him, guys. Go check him out. Nice takedown. But yeah, I mean, it was slim pickings, guys. It was slim pickings. Vidal missed weight and definitely didn't look as good of shape as usual. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. They got a body in there. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because if this guy does get, like, say, a quick knockout due to Vidal's, like, just weight issues and just, again, the short notice nature and not being as prepared. There you go. Thanks, K1. It'll just be interesting to see how this guy does in the UFC if he does make the UFC, because I truly think he's very one-dimensional. Like, once he gets into these positions, he's an absolute beast. Don't get me wrong, and he's huge, so tough to control. But why I picked him was just the strength factor. And here's Vidal here. Oh yeah, Vidal got out of that. Got out of that armbar. I was like, why did I keep that in? Oh yeah, because he got out of it and ended up winning. Well, kind of winning the fight. I think he won a decision in that one. That one was an amateur. Here's some of his pro stuff. But yeah, see, wins by similar fashion, getting into the top position and just grounding and pounding. We're getting to it, Kira. We're getting to it. We're halfway through the show. Yeah, there we go. Back mount versus the full mount. And this will just show off, yeah, some of his work in the clinch. Oh, brutal. Yeah, pressure up against the cage. Nice shots there. So anyways, I'm going with Franco. All right. Up the card we go, ladies and gentlemen. The return of friend of the channel, by the way. Friend of the channel, Cam Teague. I remember Kyle and I back almost 2 years ago now. On members stream, we're reacting to a lot of his amateur fights because he fights like a fucking savage, and a lot of his amateur fights were super fun. And then he reached out to us. We never had a chance to interview him, which win or lose, we'll reach out to him. We'll reach out to him again, try to get him on the show because he's got a fun story. And yeah, the guy is all fireworks. And Lerryan Douglas, on the other hand, fireworks as well, as this guy's a one-man wrecking ball and knocking out guys left, right, and center. Lerryan Douglas, 12-5 as a pro. Since joining the Bloodline team with our friend Richie Miranda and, of course, the great Cub Swanson, he's been absolutely murking guys. 30 years of age, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He's the big favorite in this one, which I don't think is that fair to Teague, as he is pretty tough, but I do think Lerryan Douglas should be the favorite in this one. I thought around maybe minus like 200 would be a little more fair, but I may be biased. I did pick against Cam Teague last time, even though, like I said, he's a friend of the channel. So I'm keeping the picks real, chat. I'm keeping the picks real. All right. 6 KO TKOs, 2 submissions, 3 decisions. But will he pick Steve Asplund? That is the question. Wait till the end of the show to find out. 4-1 in LFA and 0-1 in ACB. He was one of those Brazilians who were thrown to the wolves there in Russia. He is the LFA champ right now. He beat Javier Reyes and knocked him the fuck out. Knocked out Elijah Johns as well. This fight was an interesting one as he was getting pressured back and he was getting tagged until he wasn't. Until he cracked Nathan and then finished him. And again, didn't win in his LFA debut. He actually got knocked out against Isaac Thompson, then came back strong and just gone on a friggin' finishing streak since. So what I will say about Lerryan Douglas is he doesn't counter much, especially if he's being, well, he'll counter if they're like feet planted, just throwing it like in the pocket, because his head movement's actually pretty good and he'll counter in that sense, sidestep and stuff. But on the back foot, he doesn't counter. So if he's being pressured, he's just waiting, taking shots, blocking shots until he gets an opportunity to step forward and do his thing again, which has worked for him in his last few fights. But what does Cam Teague do well? Cam Teague pressures forward. Man, and just throws fucking hands. Now, do I think, and crazy kicks as well, spinning heel kicks and things like that. Do I think Lerryan Douglas hits harder? Undisputed, yes. Is Cam Teague more of a volume guy who likes to pressure? Also, yes. And Cam Teague is tough, man. Kevin Vallejos, I think, is a potential future champ. I'm just gonna say, I think he's a future champ in the UFC. Honestly, I think he's that good. He's that good. He has that much of a ceiling anyways. Where's floors at? I'm still like, is it a high floor or low? Well, we'll see, because he hasn't been tested yet in the UFC. But he's a guy who, like, there's no shame in losing to Kevin Vallejos, where Cam Teague was actually looking pretty good early and landing more shots on Vallejos until Vallejos cracked him once, and it was like, oh, the power bar started to drain. Went back on the regional scene, not against the best opponents, but got 2 big wins, the wins he needed to make his case to come back on Contender Series. 5 KO TKOs, 2 submissions, 2 decisions. Our boy No Chill MMA has a great interview with him, by the way, so I highly recommend going and checking that out. 3-0 in Empire Fighting Championship. That's just the thing. Didn't fight in the best organizations, but his level of activity, his strength of schedule has been nothing short of spectacular. Again, like, I was watching him fight as an amateur. I remember when he made his debut, and so we've been following him for a while. Great win against Austin Lingo when he made his little Fury FC appearance before his first Contender Series bout. And again, 2 guys that weren't the greatest opponents, but he beat them in dominant fashion, and then snuck in a little boxing fight in there as well, which I'll show you in these highlights. How are you? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm going with Douglas. I think even if Cam wins the first round, even if he pressures Douglas in the second round, I'm just confident Lerryan Douglas is not going to get knocked out unless Cam lands a crazy spinning heel kick or some shit like that. Where, if so, I'll eat crow Cam and just inject that into my veins, baby. Not the crow, the spinning heel kicks. I do think Douglas is going to find him. And even if Cam survives the fight, I think he's going to win 2 rounds by damage. Sorry, Cam. We're rooting for Cam, but I think Lerryan Douglas is going to find that chin again. 5 in a row. Bloodline's on an absolute heater right now. Let me know your thoughts in the chat, and let's bring up some highlights by both of these 2 fighters. Great to have you guys in the chat. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Hey, what's up, Rob's neighbor? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day as well. Lerryan Douglas is like Peter Yan, slow starter, but he gets his reads, or once he gets his reads, very dangerous. Absolutely, absolutely. But Teague, just so fun to watch, man. I think this was one of the fights that Kyle and I were reacting to. I think that was one of his first pro fights. He's fought in island fights as well, which love the ring, as you guys know. Look at him there. Another Ben Askren, baby. He would be proud. So just look at the way he swangs and bangs, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I wasn't as surprised or butthurt as everybody is seemingly being. This ain't boxing. People lose fights. Loved BSD's performance. Didn't think he was going to fight like that, but had that wrestling in the back pocket and executed a perfect game plan. But I did not see that coming. Either going to watch the new Conjuring or Dana White Contender series at a casino today. Let's go, Tyler. Let's go. Good to see you, by the way, dude. And again, if you guys want to watch all of these highlights in full and or again, you can check them out here. Sorry I didn't post them yesterday. I had to do a lot more research and digging than I thought. Usually this takes me about 2-3 hours to throw together. It took like 6. So I had to, and then fucking LFA and Cage Warriors, man. It took probably like an hour and 6 uploads to finally get it through their friggin' copyright ban checks, but we got them. Yeah, there's the boxing. Let's go. Tiger. Folded him. All right, so here's Lerryan Douglas. Yeah, you can see I had to make it look like an old Western just to get it on YouTube. Good takedown defense too, man. So anyways, I'll go through some of my notes here. I think minus 550, again, he should be the favorite. Maybe minus 250, a little bit more fair. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out to lunch. Love Cam. So fun to watch. Volume, striker, quick, well-rounded, explosive, good pressure. Stays upright, though, and lowers guard, especially in the midst of his combos. So he does leave his head open, which, again, those Lerryan Douglas hooks, man. That's going to be scary. But he's tough as nails. He's a good underdog. And I'll get into last week. I left one guy off, and it was the guy who got his ass kicked the easiest. And I said I didn't have any confidence with him, but I had confidence in the other 4. I got some confidence in everybody here tonight, but I'll explain a little further at the end of the program. Lerryan Douglas, he's a bloodline guy. It's a great team with insane talent and veterans and up-and-coming guys. He's got insane power. If he's walking forward, he's got great pressure, right? Like he can pressure you and take over fights. But if it's swinging the other way, he won't counter on the back foot. He'll just block or get hit until he can sidestep or find his spot. He's tough. He finds his shots even when he's losing. It only takes 1 to stun you. So I am going with Lerryan Douglas. Main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Main event of the evening. Yeah, Mike, you can rewind the tape, my man. You can rewind the tape. Anthony how do I pronounce his name again? Guarascio. I had trouble pronouncing his name the last time he was fighting. And even though I was listening to his highlights there, they just kept saying the Daywalker after he landed that huge knockout on a Bailey, man. You guys remember that? We were streaming that as well. He was coming in as the underdog, and he proved us wrong. Had a great moment on the mic after. And this guy apparently trains out of his garage. So doesn't train with like a big team, okay? Doesn't train with a big team. I'm sure he brings in some decent training partners here and there, don't get me wrong, but still very small time, very green, very raw, and not the biggest heavyweight. He's coming in at about 200, I forget what the official weigh-in was, but 230, 235 pounds. He is 6'2", though. He is over 6 foot. He's no old Jared Cannonier who's maybe says he's 6 foot, but let's be honest. When he was a heavyweight, he looked he looked tiny out there. He looked like the Munchkin. Anyways, 3-0 as a pro. So not a lot of pro experience, but an unbelievable win against in his Cage Fury FC title fight. Only 3 fights and 2 wins, I should say, into his professional career. Not sure why this was overturned, but he actually did have a good win in that one too. As an amateur, fought some kickboxing, fought some boxing, mostly striking stuff. Lost his first 2 fights, I will say. Lost his actually another no contest there. Oh, injury got you. But anyways, didn't get a win in MMA for a little while. Went back to kickboxing, returned to MMA, and then started to go on a heater. Very good striker. Really good striker. His boxing is crisp. He's got speed. He's more of an athletic heavyweight than not. But Steve Asplund used to be 400 pounds, now weighing in at just under 265, or I think it was like 262 officially or something like that. Absolutely insane. Really cool story. From Minnesota, he trains with Thomas Peterson, Gabe Steveson, and Alvin Guzzi Hines. Kickboxing and striking background. However, his grappling's getting better. But he can be controlled if you get him on his back, if you get into side control. In guard, he can scramble as he has some of that leverage, but if you're in side control or mount, it's not necessarily easy to finish him as he's tough as nails, but you can stay on him pretty much the whole round, from what I've seen anyways, if you have that advantage, if wrestling is your bread and butter, if that was your game plan you're employing. That's not what Anthony the Daywalker has, though. He's going to try to strike Steve Asplund here. He's going to try to strike Steve Asplund, and I do think whether he's the better striker is debatable, but he's the fastest striker. That's the thing. Steve Asplund has cardio for days, it seems like, but he will slow down and then kind of just stay at a slower pace, still hit you, but he'll take shots and just kind of turn it into a bar fight brawl sort of thing. 5-1 as a pro, only 27 years of age. 4 KO TKOs, 0 submissions, 1 decision. His only loss has been via submission. 4-1 in LFA. And the guy who he lost to is actually a really good opponent. I'm pretty sure Freeman is now in the PFL. Okay, no, so he fought in the PFL Titan FC before coming over to LFA and then won the belt. Now, mind you, not against a really good opponent, as I don't think Kuno's really good at all, but like his only loss coming to Denzel, who is a very good grappler, really good wrestler. No shame in that. Came back and beat Hammer Morton, who wasn't the best opponent, but I will say tough. And then Kovacs was actually, I think, getting the better of him in the first round, but Steve came back in the second. Kind of when they both started to slow down, landed some big shots. I've been at every single one of his LFA fights live, so I've rewatched it like on the broadcast twice. Most of his fights twice. Billy Ray Valdez is a good opponent, tough guy as well. Larry Gonzalez was a good win, right? So like there's actually some pretty damn good wins on his resume, but you watch him fight and it's not the most polished or quick style, but hey, he's a heavyweight. As an amateur too, he went 6-0. Oh man. Obviously, I'm rooting for Steve, our Minnesota boy here. Shout out to Steve Asplund. Gonna be wearing the fish hat on the freaking live stream as well. Shout out to Waggle Golf, Minnesota company. We're going all Minnesota here for the boys here. But I do think Anthony wins it. Sorry, Steve. Sorry, Steve. Steve's gonna hate me and he's gonna grill me on the interview. Because we're bringing Steve on the podcast here soon, probably in 3 weeks. Win or lose, Steve said I don't know, he didn't confirm yet, but Steve's coming on the podcast. He's coming on the podcast. I am going with Anthony here. Steve took this fight on what, like 5-6 days notice? Maybe a little bit more, but he took this fight on short notice. Thing was announced late last week. He's fought better guys and has more experience. I just think the quickness of Anthony's hands, if he's able to cut the distance of Asplund, who has really good kicks and is long and rangy, he will have to watch out for Asplund's elbows in the clinch, because they don't call him. His name's I don't think it's Concrete anymore. I think they call him the Butcher. Step aside, Brian Battle, because he would rather elbow you in the face and cut you up than land maybe the easier and better shots, the dirty boxing shots, the underhooks or the uppercuts, or even just land jabs. Sometimes he'll just take a shot on the entry to go for the super leg elbow because he wants to cut up your face, which, hey, love the mentality. So in the clinch, he's dangerous, but I will say everywhere else on the feet, I give just a slight edge to Anthony because his boxing is crisper. He has that one-punch power. He can knock out light heavyweights and heavyweights. And if he doesn't gas, he wins this fight. If the longer this fight goes, the better it is for Steve Asplund. So I'm banking on Anthony winning. And if he does win, I just have to say it, he's probably going to get the first round finish, whether it's a straight knockout or knock Steve down, get the finish there. But if this goes into the second and third round, we've literally seen Steve survive an ass whooping in the first round like 3 times, and he comes back like the zombie he is and just breaks guys. So I'm going with Anthony here. Let's see if I have anything else in my notes, but as I do, take a look at my notes and we'll go over some of my thoughts on the underdogs and which ones I have the most confidence and non-confidence with. Take a look at highlights of both these guys. Guys, I went over every pick already. You can rewind the tape. All right. So yeah, Steve taking this on a week's notice. Very good striker, insane elbows, and is very tough. Not super quick. Can be controlled on the ground. His opponent doesn't have a lot of grappling either, though. Trains out of his garage, where Steve trains with the better guys. Has one-punch KO power. Where, I don't know, Steve doesn't necessarily have one-punch KO power, but he has shots that can... He has enough power he can break you. Yeah, this is that Hammer Morton guy. Which, again, not the best guy, but tough as nails, as the ref eventually just ended it because Steve was just piecing him up for 3 fucking rounds. Steve does have more experience, like I said, better opponents, trains with better guys, toughness and cardio. That's his thing, toughness and cardio. And you can see here, it's just a good story. Used to be 400 pounds, use mixed martial arts after playing football in high school to lose weight, and now he's kicking guys' ass in the cage as well. Anthony needs the KO, or Asplund could come back. I don't think Anthony's faced as good guys, but I doubted him in his last fight to win the title, and he made me look foolish. Rooting for Steve, Minnesota baby. But yeah, we are going to Anthony. A one-punch power / quick boxer against a kickboxing cardio machine in Asplund. All right. Do you agree with the Brazilian parlay? That would be a fun one. I don't, Steven. I don't. But I hear he's good at making picks. Crazy. Kind of early, no, right? We're not watching Japanese mixed martial arts at 3 a.m. How's it going, Chrissy? Got turned over apparently because of a violation. Could have been Russian juice. Could have been something else. Who knows? He had an amateur fight in 2012. Kind of insane. Yep. I am not better. I don't really make picks and predictions other than Dana White's Contender series and Ryzen. There was more footage of Steve to share just because he's had more fights, right? At the amateur level and at the pro level. And I've been to every single one at Mystic. I don't even bet, Mike, so you're the expert. You're the expert. He's pretty good. I like how you show film study. Oh yeah. If you make picks and don't watch the fighters, then you're just Hank the Tank. And Hank the Tank doesn't give a fuck if the decision's rigged, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't give a fuck if the decision is rigged. If you guys want to see all these highlights again, and some of them aren't just highlights. Like I actually sometimes just put footage of the guys and gals in there as well. To recap, ladies and gentlemen, this one, I'm going Dyer. I'm going Blair. I'm going Franco, but the line is stupid. I'm going Douglas, and I'm going Anthony. But I do want to say here, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say, unlike last week, I do think there's a chance that every single fighter on this card could win. Here are my underdog. But these are my notes, by the way, guys. These are my fucking notes. This is how much of a freaking psycho I am. Check it out. Check it out. Those are my notes. I got all of them here. All of them here. Foro, I have medium confidence in. Blair, I got high confidence in, enough to pick him. Vidal, low confidence, especially with K1 reminding me and reminding us that he did not look good at the weigh-ins and missed weight. Teague, medium confidence in. If Lerryan can't put him out, Teague might beat him. Medium confidence, but picking Lerryan. And Asplund, my boy Steve, I got low confidence in, but again, the longer that fight goes, the better it goes for Steve Asplund, ladies and gentlemen. Again, one more time, check out our highlight video if you haven't already, if you want to watch more film on this guy. Honestly, guys, there's nobody else on YouTube who's posted the Felipe Franco ones. Well, especially Felipe Franco. Freddy, Vidal, Samuel, Sanches. Like, I had to dig through the weeds to clip up some of those. The rest of them, you know, you can find on YouTube and things like that. But for those two guys in particular, it was near impossible to find footage for. If you guys dig my vibe, if you dig these picks and predictions video, you might dig some of the other content we have, including the highlights videos. We also interview fighters. Shout out to Lerryan Douglas' training partner, Richie Miranda, who came on the show last week. Also, we interview hockey players. As you can see here, more highlights. What else do we got here? Here's the Ryzen Picks and Preview podcast. Crazy stories in the world of mixed martial arts. More fighter interviews, Ryzen stuff, fighter interviews, beer reviews, the whole 9 yards. As far as live streams go, we will have a fight companion for week 5. I'll get that set up here in a little bit. But we stream all sorts of combat sports, as you can see, covering every league, covering every combat sport all weekend. All weekend. I mean, tomorrow we got UAE Warriors, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, I will get the fight companion up here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. But again, thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all. Smash that like button and subscribe. And we'll see you in a few hours for Dana White's Contender Series, a week 5 fight companion. But until then, let's get back to work, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to work.
I don't give a fuck if the decision's rigged!
We don't give a single fuck.